Hola. ¿Cómo
Hey,
están?
how's it going, my friend? Sorry, I was in
Pretty
the
good.
middle. I was in the middle of eating my Chinese cookie.
Hey, nice. Fortune cookie.
hmm
There you go.
Yeah, I
Did you
had a
get
big
any?
ass. I hardly don't eat Chinese food, but today I actually ate it. I had a
Yeah.
big ass plate of chow mein. Um, I ate orange chicken and teriyaki chicken with a lot of that red sauce that
Dude.
comes from the red cock.
Yep. The chicken. Hell
hmm
yeah, dude. I love orange chicken, dude.
hmm
I love teriyaki chicken, orange chicken. I like almost any Oriental food, whatever, wherever it comes from.
Hey,
I
baby
think.
love.
What's up, everybody? Hey, Ben, Bryden, Baby Love, um,
Mhm.
everybody, Mick, Timmy. Who else do we have
Come
here? I know
on.
I Bill, Gangbang, Deborah, PDFLs, of course, Andy. Hey, this is Andy Cruz, everybody. His link is in the chat. It'll also be in the description. It'll stay there as well. And we're just going to shoot the breeze here and have a good time. And then if things turn out, there's a lot of lives going on right now.
hmm
So, yeah. And so I don't know how that's going to work out. There's a
Yeah.
couple catches going on. They're having a charity thing, which I was over at Locksmiths a bit ago. And uh, the dare was for me to call my ex. And I said, well, which ex? And
Yeah,
I
how
couldn't,
many? I got a
yeah.
list.
And I
I
was
got
like,
a
you know
list.
what? Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'll just call my ex-wife. So I did. She went. She was funny. And she's cool like that, and it's for charity. She was all for it. But I had to call her and tell her I really love you and I want you back, and this, that, and
Oh
the other.
no. Hey Ben.
So
That's not right. That's not
it
right.
was it for charity. It's fun.
I only do that when I'm really drunk, and then I start calling exes. Babe, I love you. I want you
Yeah.
back. Babe, I fucked up. Then I sober
Yeah.
up and I was like, I didn't do that, did I?
Yeah.
I was like,
Dude.
babe, for real, I'll even go down on you again. Yeah, for real, for real.
Oh
I'll
shit.
do it. I'll do it this time, for real, for real.
Yeah. Oh man, you're cool, dude. You're funny, man. So I guess we'll start if you don't mind. And
Sure,
you don't
man.
have to don't dox yourself or like that. If I ask a
Oh
question,
man, don't
you
worry
know how
about
to
that.
answer it.
People have doxed the shit out of me already. I'm good, man.
Oh
So
my
I want to
goodness.
ask, what made you want to interview me? Because I'm a pretty boring interviewer,
I
to
think
be
you're a
honest.
funny guy. I think you're humble. You're
Hey, I
funny.
grout.
I've seen your being on your panel once or twice, watching your shows a few times. I
Mhm.
just think you've always been a cool dude. I've had a lot of respect for you,
Thanks, man.
and I wanted to introduce you to other people. So
Nice.
I guess
Yeah.
I've been a fan from the beginning. I think
Thanks,
I
man.
started following you probably last summer, to be honest with you,
It was,
if not
yeah.
before that.
I met you during the whole general rampage of him
Yeah, yeah.
bombing everybody. That's when I met you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. And then, of course, him and I are, we've been talking now and,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
have mutual respect and all that. So that's
I
pretty
know.
cool. What's up,
Yeah,
Exiled One?
I've left the guy alone, man. But it seems like he still wants to talk about me, so I don't know.
Oh,
I think I'm gonna have to trigger his ass again.
I don't know who's joking and who's not half the time in some of the
Yeah, I know.
communities. Because I
Uh,
walk into B Stocks and either he's fighting with somebody one day and then the next day they're best friends again and
yeah,
then they're arguing. It's like,
I'm
I
not
don't even
about that.
know.
I am not about that. I
Yeah,
genuinely look. I just leave the guy alone. He can, you know what I mean. I'm not gonna, because I gotta
yeah,
admit, he has been mellow lately.
yeah,
I haven't really seen him do crazy shit like he used to, but I heard him talk.
yeah.
He likes to poke at me. You know him and his girlfriend. I'm like, I was getting messages that she was asking you like, "Hey Jeff, what do you think of Andy Cruz bringing his little nephew to a
I
David
heard
Walsh
about that.
game?" And I'm like, "What?"
It's
I
your
go,
nephew,
"It's my
and he wasn't
nephew."
on camera.
No, and he's talking to David Walsh, but they're making it seem like I'm some kind of creep because
I
he
know.
said hi. I'm like, dude, him and his girlfriend are
Yeah.
reaching. Really, I'm not the one exposing myself to. people on the internet. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they better back the
Well,
fuck up before I really go off on them. You know?
but during Christmas time, they had this YouTube channel and the Santa Claus thing or whatever.
Yeah,
And I had my oldest grandson, and he, of course, not on camera. Of course, it
yeah,
was all audio. He put on my headset and did his little, what he wanted for Christmas type thing and everything. It's all
hmm
good as long as, it's family. They're not on camera through a certain age or whatever, and as long as you got the permission, all that stuff. I don't,
yeah,
and your channel and your community is a little different, or your channel, I should
yeah,
say, what you do. So every community is different. So I get it.
yeah.
But aside from all that, I don't. This, if I could ask, where are you from exactly, or where you at, or however you want to answer that, obviously.
I live in California.
Oh, California.
I live in California. Yeah.
Nice. I heard they're getting a lot of floods, I think, up in the northern area, or
Yeah,
Sacramento.
northern area, like anything above Kings County. They get
Yeah.
a lot of rain, man. It was raining last night. I was surprised. I woke up to
Wow.
rain and I opened my window because I love the rain because we hardly get it. But
Hmm.
it's raining right now, actually. So
Is it
yeah,
still?
I was gonna go to the market, but I just went and bought me soda, man. I really wanted a soda, and
Yeah.
I went to the store and I just wanted to buy one, but their fountain drinks are turned down. So I'm like, fuck.
Hmm.
So I went and they wanted $3 for like a 22 or like 280 or whatever for like just a regular soda. But then they had a
Hmm.
special 2 liters for $5. I said, let's look at that. So I know my
Yep.
nephews will drink it. So
Yeah,
hey,
everything's
hey,
getting so expensive.
can I get a
Go
shout out
ahead.
to Jorg, man? I'm glad he's back. A lot of people were worried about Jorg, and Jorg needs
George.
to yeah,
Yep.
and he needs to give somebody that he really likes, like David or somebody his real info, like his phone number at least, so they can
Yeah.
reach out and try to talk to him because everybody was worried, especially the girls. Shout out to the
Yeah.
girls; they were really worried about him.
Yeah. Big time. And I'm
Yeah.
glad. I was so happy to see him. I'd heard in York. I sent you a private message on Twitter. That's the only way I could get a hold of you. And
Mm-hmm.
we were all worried. I'm glad
Mm-hmm.
you're here, and I hope you're well, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you, I think, on B Soxes briefly. I was kind of cruising
He looked
around
he
doing my
looked
thing.
good. He looked good.
Yeah,
He had a
he
good
looks a lot
color.
better.
Yeah, he looked good.
Hmm.
I don't know what ails him, but he looked a lot good. It was funny because he just jumps on the camera and he still has his wristband from the hospital. Like you know.
Yeah.
uh
Hold on one sec. I got to take care of a moron, possible moron here. It
huh.
says, hey Jeff, rumor on the streets is that you were never married. How come you make these claims that you have an ex-wife, homeboy? Yeah, I was married for 18 years, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, 18 years. Together for 20, almost. So that is actually a fact. I was married.
They like to hit you with that.
As first time, I think. I actually called her on the street for the charity thing. I called her on
Hmm.
speaker so everybody knows, and I was like, of course, the deal was I had to tell her I wanted her back and still loved her. She's already
Yeah, yeah,
married somebody else.
yeah.
We're good friends. So, but I later told her it was for charity. She's like, oh, that's awesome. So it's all good. Hey, Mr. X, what is up? Exiled One, what's up? Canadian royalty, how you doing?
What up,
So, okay,
though?
what up, though? There's a lot of lives going on. Again,
Yeah,
like I said,
yeah.
they're still doing the charity thing, which will probably go all night, and then they're doing they have two catches going on right now, so there'll be people popping in and out. So it's
Nice.
all good. So you're from California,
Yeah, I appreciate you guys doing that. That takes a lot of guts to do that. To go out and
yeah,
catch these guys, man. That's it's. I just saw this. I like watching TikTok, and I just saw this
yeah,
one where
yeah.
they caught this guy. He grabbed the girl out of the front of her house, throws her in the car, but they actually caught him, and the little girl was in the car. And I'm like, you just want to end the person like that. Like, what the fuck, Like,
Like what the hell's going
there's
on?
some creeps out there for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I had to time out Funky Guy. I don't know who you are right now, but I just timed you out, so I want to give you another chance. I believe in giving people chances, but don't talk shit like that. Don't say stuff that's not true. Okay, you don't even know
That's
who I am.
just a troll account, man.
Yeah, but I don't like to ban people unless I have to. But I have a lot of moderators that are hiding in the background that don't really chat that
Hmm.
much, but they do their job. So I appreciate them being here
Hey
and everybody
Raquel,
else.
it is a
Raquel,
slow
what's up?
night. Raquel's right. It's a slow night if I'm getting interviewed. That is the truth.
I was
Yeah.
hoping it wouldn't be, but hey, it is what it is, you know. Hey, Jake. Well, anyways, moving on. So you're in California. Were you born and raised there?
Yeah, born and raised in East LA.
Oh, that my father-in-law who just passed, unfortunately, over the holidays.
I'm sorry to hear that.
He was born and raised in East LA too. Then he moved here when he met his
Nice.
wife years ago. So
Nice.
I have family in Rialto, San Bernardino. I have
Oh
a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
cousins Long Beach. Yeah, all that area. I'm in New Mexico, so I'm not too far, but it is a drive
Mm-hmm.
for sure. So let me ask you, what made you want to, or when did you start YouTube? Actually, your
Um,
channel.
you know what? I've always liked the radio. I've always been a radio guy since I was a
Yeah.
kid. I was
Mm-hmm.
I listened to Howard Stern religiously. You
Yep.
know, I liked everything about radio growing up. Watched hearing Big Boy in the morning. Going to high school, I'd get up, I'd hear Big
Mm-hmm.
Boy in the morning, Rick Dees, Scott Shannon on pirate radio. You know these, and then when Howard Stern came to town, it totally blew my mind away. Right, so as time went on, I moved away. What happened was I moved away from LA, so I stopped hearing Howard Stern.
Yeah.
And what happened was I started learning more about the internet, and I started to learn more about it. So I bought my first computer, AOL
Mm-hmm.
days, and
Yeah.
I started,
You got mail.
somebody told me, hey, you could get free music from the internet,
Mm-hmm.
LimeWire, what's that other one, Napster? But instead of
Yeah, I remember Napster.
yeah, but instead of downloading music, I said, well, what if they had Howard Stern here? So I looked on Howard Stern, and there it was. They didn't have too many, and it
Uh-huh.
took me maybe a whole day to download one show, but I was getting them. I was getting Howard
Yeah.
Stern. The only way I could either get it was the show, but they would only show you
Oh
maybe
yeah.
segments. I wanted the whole thing. So what
Mm-hmm.
happened was I started going to college, and then I heard uh, a friend of mine told me, you could get all the shows daily, and there's this
Mm-hmm.
site called torrent downloaders, and they would every day after the show was done, people would upload torrent. So every time I would go, I would always see this one name uploaded by Wush Dishmin. Wush Dishmin, Wush Dishmin. Wush Dishmin used to have these fights with other Pirate Bay or whatever sumo torrent people, and they hated that he was always up on it. He had a back catalog, so it turned out that he had his own website called WushDishMe.net. So
Yeah.
he sent me an invite. I joined, and my God, everybody in there was Howard Stern. They had their own radio station in there. They used to do their own before podcast was a thing. Wish This Mean already had its own built-in podcast system where I would
Mm-hmm.
listen to regular people do radio, and I always thought this is fucking cool.
Yeah.
What
Big time.
happened was it evolved to him opening up a network of podcasters called Podtrash, and it was led by Joey Boots, a friend of
Okay.
ours, and it was not a bad thing. 30,000 downloads a show was not too shabby. We
All
had a
right.
following.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Guy passed away. The network got infiltrated. Money got involved, so it just broke apart. That's where my name comes from, Podtrash.
I
Uh,
love
friend,
that name.
my friend Robin is my friend. Wished Mr. Podtrash that they're the couple. They own Podtrash, even though it's not a thing. I took the name because when you look for Andy Cruz on YouTube, you couldn't find it. But if you add Podtrash, you find me.
Mm-hmm.
So
That
back
name
then,
is so
yeah.
cool.
So back then, there was this YouTuber called Jimmernam, and
Mm-hmm.
he used to do these YouTube channel streams that were off the hook. But
Yeah.
the guy had something wrong with them that he uh he turned on just about everybody. Like there's definitely something wrong with the guy. He's
Yeah.
not yeah because he self admitted saying that he had a brain something where they operated him right.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so that fell apart, and one day I got a message saying, "Hey, he's back on YouTube, and he's over here with a bunch of crazy drama girls." So I ended up, following the crowd, and that's how I met all the people on YouTube. And I just started going live
Yeah,
one day. I just turned
that's
on and I
cool.
just started talking, and they just started coming in, and I just started meeting people, and that's kind of how I got the ball rolling on YouTube.
Heck yeah, dude, that's awesome. That name, Podtrash. Oh my god, dude, that caught my that's what really caught my attention. To be honest with
Yeah.
you, right away, I saw you in the chats a few times and a few panels and whatnot, and you were always really cool. You never had anything bad to say about me, and I was like,
No.
I like that name. And I went to go look at your channel. I was like, oh, he's a pretty established channel. I was like, that's pretty cool. So I started listening to your stuff. And you're just hilarious. You're
Yeah.
funny. You're humble. You're down to earth. So I appreciate
And
that about
and,
you.
and a lot of my subscribers, they're just from here and there. I've never really pushed my channel on anybody, like, hey, add me, or like, hey, can you share all my, I never did. I just, wherever I went, I would just show up. Yeah, but a lot of my subscribers do come from like the girls, they,
Yeah,
yeah. So
ladies
yeah,
man.
yeah. So I do try to like, I do try to be aware of certain words that I say,
Yeah,
because I know that some of them don't like me saying certain things. So I do have
yeah.
to, even though I don't mind those words, because I grew up a certain way. Like for instance, baby love, like where we grew up, it's normal to say these words that don't mean to us in a negative way, but it's just something that we say. So I remember
Hmm.
I remember telling her like, hey, just letting you know that some people don't like these words, so don't be saying them too much, like,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. What was the year that you started your channel?
My channel, I started YouTube years ago just to watch YouTube,
Yeah, same here. I started in
but
2020.
but I didn't start going live till the end of 2019 when I met all the girls. You know,
Hey,
yeah,
man, that's awesome.
yeah,
I didn't go live until I think it was the end of 2021. Is when I
yeah,
finally decided, hey, I'm going to take this to a different level.
yeah,
Not just, 'cause I kind of used it more as just a platform for friends and
yeah.
family or anybody else that wants to look at whatever,
Well, whenever I wanted to go live, I would go live over at Podtrash, because we
Yeah,
have our own website, we have our own radio station there. It's still there right now. It's just I don't go live there anymore because nobody really goes there anymore. But it's there.
yeah,
It's there. Maybe one day we'll start it up again. But
yeah. If you ever want to drop the link for that, if you're able to, you can do that
yeah,
if
it's
you
it's
want.
just it's just podtrash.com. It's just a simple website. It's a
All right,
radio station, and it has all our shows. You know,
cool.
for the last 7, 8 years, whatever it was, they're all there. So
Really?
yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so it's just podtrash.com.
.com. Yeah, that's all it is. Just a
Okay.
website.
Podtrash.com, everybody. If anybody wants to type that, so it's in the chat, I appreciate that. Maybe spam it a few times. But
Hmm.
that's awesome, man. So when did you decide to take your YouTube channel to the next level, like I did at the end of 20? Well, you said end of 2019, right?
I don't. I think I started with clips. I started
Okay.
with like just like clipping people, and then I would just go live and see who showed up. And then
Yeah.
it wasn't until maybe last year that I said I didn't have anything to do. You know what it was? It was after COVID hit really bad and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
I started having trouble sleeping at night. I said, and I didn't
Yeah.
have, and then I broke up with my girlfriend. So I'm like, I ain't got nothing to do. I'm gonna, I'm gonna,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go live late at night. And it's just, you never know. Like last night, I was like falling asleep, and there are 40 people in my chat, and nobody, I'm like, I don't want to leave, but I'm falling asleep here. So, so I know there's a big community. There's a lot of people here that do stay up late, and I like when they come hang out with me, and everybody's invited.
Mhm.
There's obviously some people I don't like coming around, and I just block
Yeah.
them. I don't fight with them. I just block them and just like don't come around. But anybody's
Yeah.
invited.
Yeah, I get it. I've it's YouTube is like an experiment. At least the first year or two is, anyways. When it comes to certain people, certain things, like I try to promote free speech, and
Yeah,
of course, I didn't even ban that person. I just timed them out and gave them a warning. Hope they'll come back and they'll troll nicely instead of troll maliciously. And I don't mind. I love trolls as long as they're not being malicious or they're not doxing or they're just straight out telling a complete lie that could, cause a lot of bad rumors.
Yeah.
And even then, I try not to ban them. I still try to work with them. But if they don't want to work with me, then I have to ban them. It's just the way it is. But anyways, moving on. So when did you start really kind of getting the feel for what you do now, like your live pod trashes or podcasts?
I've always like I'm telling you, I used to have my own show at the podcasting. It is different because when you do a podcast, it's more structured. We would do
Yeah.
we would do bits. We would do we there was bumpers.
Hmm.
Our shows were being clipped and used on the Howard Stern show. So it's
That's
more.
awesome.
And plus, there's no looking at chat. There was a chat, but it wasn't to how YouTube is. Like you didn't really have to like read off
Hmm.
chat, but there was a chat, but you didn't have to read off it. You could just riff and didn't have to worry about chat and who's there and who's not. So
Yeah.
so there, it was a little bit different.
Yeah, with chat, what I try to do is I have, you can see, I'm always looking around because I use this sometimes for live stream, but I have a laptop and I have another, other screen and whatnot. So I'm always looking because I don't have my glasses and or my contacts, so it's really hard for me to see. So sometimes I have to look at a different monitor or a different screen. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm always going like this, and I'm also trying to read chats. So
Mm-hmm.
um, mods, you guys try to keep free speech, but if anybody gets nasty, if you're not sure, just time him out and let me know, and then
Mm-hmm.
we'll go from there. Hey, Tonya, good to see you. So, how long do you think you've been doing what you're doing now? You said about 2 years or one or
Yeah,
1 year. You
about
said,
about 2 years, but this last year I've really been putting in work. Like
yeah,
I go live like maybe 2, 3 times a week, maybe more sometimes. You never know. And then hey
yeah,
Tanya D, and then there's times I won't go live for a week.
yeah.
So
Same here.
it all depends.
Yeah, I'm in a kind of a hiatus because of a lot of different reasons, but I
Hmm.
was I was doing trying my thing at catching preds and whatnot. We got our
Yeah,
first conviction from catch number 3, but YouTube
nice.
removed them. So we can't do it on this platform except for a few things. So it's all going to go to Rumble. So right now I'm on a hiatus. So
Yeah,
I'm for YouTube. I was just going to delete my channel. I literally was going to just going to delete it like a couple months back. I was
yeah,
just kind of done, I guess, for a
yeah,
while. I just wanted to go to Rumble, and I said, you know what? Let's see what happens. And I had a couple of ideas and stuff that I'd already thought about before and had a couple interviews. I still got I got 5 more lined up after you that's already confirmed. So
nice.
I decided, you know what, I'll do YouTube the way, for interviews, updates, concert videos, whatever, live panels and whatnot. So
Yeah,
I decided to keep it up for now, and we'll see what happens. But once I get the Rumble, all my editors getting all those videos re-edited for Rumble. And once that comes out, I'll do a live and promote that and everything for the catches and whatnot. But for YouTube, it's going to be mainly this kind of stuff.
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
and I don't even know if I have to wait because I have to be cleared by my doctor too, as I have to have a biopsy at the end of the month. So I don't
Oh,
know how
okay.
that's going to be,
Yeah,
so it's all in due time. So what I know you usually go on very late
very late.
at night. Yes. So
Yeah,
I'm either asleep or I'm on another panel
yeah,
sometimes if I haven't, because I do have insomnia issues.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Me too.
So um, but yeah, it was good to finally be on your panel the other night, and everything. That was fun, and to kind of see how you do your
Hmm.
thing, and I really enjoyed it. I really do. So do you have you interview people as well, don't you?
I don't interview. I kind of more just let anybody come on, and then if I'm curious about something, I'll ask them. But I just kind
Yeah,
of like just to kind of hang out and talk and talk shit. And sometimes the conversations go really far right or far left. I had a
yeah,
bu- I had a bu-
exactly.
I had a bunch of women on my panel the other day, and they're all talking about squirting. You know, you know.
Oh, dude, you won't believe what comes. Well, but it's different communities, different panels. You never know what's gonna. the subject's going to be, and it can change from something very serious to
Yeah.
something totally whack.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it fun, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I kind of,
I like listening to women when they get together because it's not something that you hear all the time. When you hang out with guys, yeah, we fucking talk. We talk a lot of
yeah,
shit. I like to
yeah,
hear when women talk shit. It's very interesting.
yeah. It's different. It's a whole different kind of a. I don't know. I don't want to say the wrong words, but you know what I mean. When women argue,
Hmm.
it seems a little different than when the dudes are paneling out.
Hmm.
Um, Raquel, how you doing? Jeff, you went on this panel. Yeah, I think it was me and Tiff went on there. I think it was last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
It's
and
like
Tiff showed up. Yeah, late at night.
it's like in the middle of the night. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
he's live. I was like, let's go over. So we went over. But so
Where is Tiff?
I don't
Give
know.
me,
She might come in. I don't know.
send
We're
her a
still
message. Tiff,
friends.
Tiff, 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 Tiff. Get in here.
Somebody messaged Tiff. I can't because I'm using my phone. I should have messaged her before. But I did send her the link though, I believe.
Okay.
And she's welcome to come up because she was going to actually kind of be my co-host, if you will,
Yeah.
for this interview. And just so everybody knows, I'm not getting the details that her and I have talked. I'm just going to say it once this way is that we are still friends. We're just not together anymore. So
So it's a known thing. People knew about this because I had no idea.
yeah.
I had
So
no idea.
yeah, we weren't together that long. We've known each other for a little while off the internet, talking on panels and joking around or whatever, and she's fun. It's just, we live across the United States too,
That
it's
makes it
just a
hard.
lot of
Yes,
stuff.
I totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, there are a few things that it is what it is. It's all good. I don't try to look. I always try to look for the good in people. I sincerely do, and I
Hmm.
think people kind of take my kindness as weakness. Sometimes they don't realize
I totally get that. I
they
totally
don't
get.
realize what I've done in my life, but
Yeah.
some people do. But
A lot, a
I
lot,
really am.
a lot of people like just the other day, Jano and this other guy were making fun of the way I talk and giggling like little women over there.
Really?
And I never, I don't say anything about them. I just like they just like make they take my kindness and the way I talk and the way I act for weakness, and that's the worst
Yeah,
thing you could ever do to me, especially me, because
yeah.
like people don't really know how I get. Like I can guarantee you, I'm not the one. Like I'm not. But this is YouTube, so I don't take it seriously. I really don't.
Exactly.
I really don't. I just
Exactly.
laugh it off on YouTube. I'm not gonna follow anybody. I'm not gonna threaten anybody when yet people have threatened me. General himself said he was gonna slice my throat. And it's just
Oh, you
funny
have a
to
beef
me.
with Jeno? Yeah, there's
Yeah,
so much
and
beefs.
it's just it's funny to me that people get take the worst though. The worst is when I hear people like saying, "I'm gonna take you to court," and it's like,
Yeah.
what? Over words? Get the fuck out of here. Over words, you're gonna take this person to court. Stop talking about me. It's like all you gotta do is block the person. Jesus. There's certain
Exactly.
people that I don't like and I don't talk about, and I have them blocked, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't deal with them no
Yep.
more. And then it's funny when I see screenshots of people saying, "Hey, look what they're saying about you." I'm like, don't send me these things because I don't want to know. There's a reason why I have them blocked. Out,
Yeah.
out of sight, out of mind. I don't care whatever they say. It's just YouTube. I'm not
It
gonna
is.
I'm not gonna lose my mind over silly things on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. It's and then there's the people that say, "Oh, YouTube, the internet's not real. They're not real." I was like, there's a real soul and a real person
Yes.
behind that. There it is real. And some people think that, and they think they can just do whatever they want and say
Yeah.
whatever they want. And
And uh
oh, go ahead.
no, keep going.
I was just going to say and we had a person, an individual in our community, a couple, I believe, that are in jail now. They got so stupid they decided to do the threat thing, and then they threatened the sheriff or elected official, and then
Oh
they
yeah. No,
they were
you don't.
extradited, and I think they're going off to prison for quite a time. And they took the trolling too far. They thought it was okay to say certain things I can't repeat,
Yeah.
and when they did that, it was time to call the authorities or whatever, and they did their
Hmm.
thing. So But other than that, I try to, like, with the person, I just timed them out and gave them a warning. If they come back in and they troll, that's fine. Just don't troll maliciously. That's all I
Yeah,
ask. I like trolling. I'm learned from some of the best, because some of the
yeah.
trolls are now, some of them actually are my moderators now from like a year ago. We
I
didn't
can
get along at all,
I I
and now
I
we
I,
do.
I control somebody. Look at how I left Geno. I actually made the motherfucker change his shirt. I literally made him change his shirt.
Damn.
That's how much I trolled the guy, you know. And you know what? After I saw what I did to him, to the point, where he's like saying he was gonna kill me, I just kind of backed off. I'm like, you know what? You're not even worth it. And I know he still talks shit about me, and I don't know what he says behind the scenes, and that's fine. I don't care,
Yeah.
you know.
It's also difficult too, is I don't know all the drama all the time. Obviously, none
Yeah,
of us do. There's some people that literally 24 hours, they know everything about everything,
yeah,
and
that's
I'll
true.
come in kind of blinded, and I'll be friends with, say, I'll be at a panel or something, and say I'm friends with everybody on panel, and then somebody comes up and I find out that this person doesn't like that person, or that person doesn't like this person. I'm like, shit, I like both of
That's
them.
that's a big thing. That's a
and
big thing.
and I just kind of, I don't, sometimes I just, I'll help mediate sometimes, I guess, or sometimes I shut up and just don't say anything and just listen, because I don't want to feud with two friends.
Yeah,
That's not good. That's not fun. I try to get along with everybody. I sincerely do try to get along with everybody, whether people want to believe that or not. It is the truth. And I think you're kind of the same way in a sense. You're just a little bit more bolder about it, I think, when it comes to banning them, probably. Would that be accurate?
yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, it's tough because it's like, if you're friends with, it's guilt by association. It's
exactly.
kind of
Yeah,
like that.
and sometimes people want you to be more loyal. Loyalty
Yeah,
comes a long way. So like, I understand that whole loyalty because I've felt certain ways before, but I have to tell myself like, yeah, if you're gonna act this way, then you can't do that. Like, okay, like let's say I fall out with somebody, right? And then I see
yeah,
this person with another guy that I know, and it's like, oh, you want to go and be like, they did this to me, but they didn't do it to them. So I have to
yeah,
control myself and say, just let whatever happens happen. So that's why I kind of more stick to myself on my channel. That way I
yeah,
can control who comes to me and who not. There's certain people that I'll jump up on panels, but then again, if there's certain people around them, I just won't even participate.
yeah, yeah. And you got to be careful. You live on panel nowadays too, with all the
Hmm.
shit going on. I mean, they caught that
Exactly.
one CP bomber, and he was a kid, 14-year
Yeah.
old kid. He
Oh
was
yeah,
going
yeah,
around
yeah,
to lots of communities,
yeah.
pretending to be whoever, and then he'd come up. They were thinking, "Oh, it's so and so." And then boom, it's like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
It turned
And
out to be a kid. Yeah.
yeah, I think even at his age, if I understood correctly, what people have told me is, I think he even got arrested for it, and is possibly
Yeah.
facing charges for that. You can't be doing that. But yeah, it happens, with the regular P bombers. They do it, and I don't. They know I don't agree with that at all. I'm completely against that. But on the other hand, if they're going to do it on their channel, I mean, we known people that have destroyed their own channels. Like two friends, quote unquote. They would go to one channel, porn bomb their friend to get their channel
Yeah.
struck or taken down or whatever, and then that
Mhm.
person would do the same thing and do it back to them.
Yeah.
And and then they're still friends. Some of them,
That's
and they
fucked
start
up,
new
right?
channels. Yeah, it's like, why are you guys doing that? It makes no sense. But some people do it. But hey, what kind of music do you like? I've always wanted to know. Do you like all genres, or just certain genres, or
Well, the hat you're wearing is one of my all-time favorite bands.
Kiss?
Hmm.
Nice. All right. So
Throw
you
me a
like
question. Throw me a question. I'll probably answer
all
it.
right. All right. Well, let's start the 70s. What's your favorite Kiss album in the 70s?
Rock and roll over.
Ooh, I got that on vinyl and CD.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I
Now,
probably have to.
a close second will probably be the first live album.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah, but something about rock and roll over. And then third would probably be Love Gun. Because of course it has Ace Frehley singing for the first time.
yep.
So yeah,
Love Gun's one of my favorites.
I'm a very, very big fan of Kiss. You know, at one time I had
Absolutely.
all their albums at one time, and then just
Wow.
funny how you fucking lose shit over the years.
Well, I had to recollect shit,
Yeah.
because and now you can't just go to your local whatever and pick up a cassette or a CD. I'm still into the physical media. I love having the
Hmm.
copy in my and most of my I have over I don't know how many. I know it's over 1,500 CDs, and most of them are still sealed.
Wow.
And then my vinyls, same way. I have a few hundred of those. I haven't counted them lately. They're probably
I
close to
miss my
300 now.
vinyl, man. I miss my vinyl. I
But I
don't know
do
why I
play some
got rid of
vinyl.
it. I got rid of it at a young age. And when I was in my 20s, I'm like, I'm not gonna want this shit anymore. And I got rid of it. And I'm like, damn. Now that I'm
Yeah.
closer to my 50s, I was like, I wish I had my vinyl. I had really good albums. I had like Kiss, Iron Maiden, Cheap Trick, Live at Budokan, UFO, Strangers in the Night. I had just about
Yes.
every Aerosmith album, every Rainbow album of
Oh,
Led
you liked
Zeppelin.
Rainbow?
I love
Yeah.
Rainbow. Uh,
Dio. Well, I
yeah.
liked the second dude too, though. He was good too. I forgot his
That's
name.
Nash, Graham Nash, I think. No,
No, it was the song
Bonnet, Bonnet,
"Since You
Bonnet,
Were Gone."
Bonnet. Yeah, Graham Bonnet, I think. Bonnet. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I think he
and
only played on one or two albums, didn't he? Or
only
song, I
one
should
album.
say.
Only one album. Yeah,
And they
but
had that hit.
you can't. Yeah, that's the only hit they ever had. But my God, Rainbow Rising. Ooh, ooh,
Yep.
that's a
Yep.
fucking album. Yeah, but
Hell
as I
yeah, it
said,
is.
I'm a big UFO fan. Um,
All right. Okay.
yeah,
Peter Frampton. I'm
Peter
sure you like.
Frampton.
I got some
Hmm.
stuff I could. I wish I would have known that. I would have brought it here. A friend of mine went to his last tour,
Hmm.
and he got the whole VIP treatment and
Oh
whatnot.
wow.
And he gave me almost everything that he was moving. He retired. He was moving back to New York. He says, "I got some CDs. He gave me a 1979 Twisted Sister poster before they were even signed, and he still had it in mint condition. He gave me some pretty rare stuff, and everything he got from Peter Frampton in the little gift bag they give you. He gave almost everything to me. I was like, for my collection, I was like, hey, I appreciate that. That's pretty cool. So that's awesome. So you
I
go back.
carry an M16 and you carry that. Ah, what do you want to do with your life? I want to rock. It's
I
great.
want to rock.
Yeah.
My it's funny because before Frankie Benali passed away, that was my last thing I ever got to do in the music industry. Is I was his drum tech for a day
Nice.
here in New Mexico from Quiet Riot, the drummer,
Mm.
original drummer. And my brother also knew him as well, and my ex-wife. We got to hang out with him 25 years ago, something I don't remember. That it was way back,
Yeah.
and used to we even we had a lot of parties and whatnot, but
Yeah.
that was the last thing I got to do. And of course, he died of cancer recently,
Yeah.
so
That was the
uh,
first album that I remember buying. Metal
yep,
Health, Quiet Riot. No, I had other albums. I already had albums, but they were all hand me downs from my cousins. So
yeah,
I would pick and choose, and they would always just give me whatever they wanted. Like, cause they had really big collections, and sometimes they would
uh-huh,
have double the albums, and I would pick and choose. One of my cousins was deep into bands like the Beatles, the Who, and Neil Young.
yeah,
So I got that influence from him. And then there was my other cousin who was into Slayer,
oh yeah,
Metallica, the more harder sound. So I was getting influences from both of my cousins. And yet
hmm,
I was right in the middle in school, and I was getting influence from school at the time, hip hop. Beastie
yeah.
Boys was dropping, License to Ill. So I was
I
getting
got that.
all this I was just getting hit with all this fucking awesome music at the time in the early
Uh-huh.
80s, late 80s that by the time it was a great time to be alive, man. The music that was
It
coming out,
was. It
it
was.
was unmatched. It was
It
really
it was.
unmatched. Yeah.
I see some of the millennials, even the Gen Zs, will say, "Oh, I wish I could have grew up in the '80s
Yeah.
or the '90s or whatever." Pick a year. I'm like, I lived it.
Yeah.
I was like, you have no clue because when Motley Crue came out, especially when they came out with "Shout the Devil," I love their first album. It's probably
Yeah,
my favorite album is their first album and their second
yeah.
album, to be honest with you. Their
I
first
I
two or
I
three.
I got to experience the Sunset Strip, not partake in it, but I got to experience it because at that young age, me and my friends would go to I'm talking 1986. We would go
Mm-hmm.
down to Hollywood to buy comic books.
Yep.
So as we're walking down Hollywood, I remember looking around and you'd see these guys walking around with their hair way high, and that's where we would get like our shirts. Like we would get
Yep.
Poison and whatever it was.
Yep.
But
Did you know?
we never went to see the bands because we were just too young.
Yeah, I got to. I would say 89.
Hmm.
In Dallas, Texas, we had Pantera. We had the Battle of the Bands,
Oh,
and
yeah. Go ahead. Go
Pan.
ahead.
We were trying to compete with Pantera,
Yeah.
and oh goodness, I can't remember the other band's name at the moment. He ended up being the drummer of that band. Ended up being the drummer of our band for a while, but yeah, we got to do a few gigs for some cool people. You know, we got to
Nice.
do the club thing for a little bit. In fact, on Tiffany's stream, I think it was Tiffany's. We I said, you know what, it's going to embarrass me, but go ahead and type this YouTube thing in, and it was us doing a gig in Dallas. I think it was our first actual, aside from birthday parties and or outdoor stuff. That was our first club event, and it was okay. The only problem was we were so nervous. Everybody got so drunk, especially the lead singer. He couldn't sing worth the shit.
Mm.
But we did like mostly covers. We did like some Pantera covers back then. Some of them like a lot of people don't understand, but Pantera has been around for a while. They were around before
Very a long
Cowboys
time.
from Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, power
Yeah.
metal.
Yeah.
I Am the Night, Project of the Jungle. They were a glam local metal scene, and they were pretty popular,
Yeah.
in the Southwest area, especially Texas, Louisiana, Oklahoma, places. And they finally, they did a birthday party, and the guy was from Atlantic Records, which was I want not Epic, Atco. Atco. It was a
I remember that
yep,
I remember that logo because they released ACDC's albums back in the day.
yep. And they're a what's it called, a subsidiary of Atlantic
Yep.
Records.
Yep.
But that birthday party, we didn't know who he was. I was there. We were there for the birthday party to see Pantera, and nobody knew. And then later on, we found out that yeah, he signed them. I believe either that night or the next morning. And they didn't really say a whole lot. They did like a little press thing locally, and then and they were still doing their thing after they were signed with Cowboys from Hell for a little while. Then finally, they went out on tour. And this is another band I want to bring up, Suicidal Tendencies.
Dude, I've seen Suicidal Tendencies maybe like 4 times, but there was this one time I seen them that I wish I didn't see them. They
Same
fucking
here.
because I was actually there to see Metallica and Alice in Chains. Alice in
Yeah.
Chains fucking didn't show. They brought in Suicidal. I was so bummed
Ah,
out because that was my one chance to see Alice in Chains, and I didn't get to see him. I was so fucking
yeah.
mad because I had already seen Suicidal Tendencies plenty of times. I had never got to see Alice in Chains, and
Well,
that was the last chance I was ever gonna get because I knew this guy does not
yeah.
look fucking good, man.
Yeah. Same with the lead singer from STP. He was going through, I think they were
Oh
Lane
my god,
Staley and
I seen STP open for Neil Young at the Forum, and
wow.
that was the first album they did. They did the whole album, and then to see Neil Young with Crazy Horse, it was a great.
That's
It
cool.
was a great time to be alive. When I was like 15, 16, I was going to so many concerts, man. I saw the Rolling Stones with Guns N' Roses 4 nights in a
That's
row
awesome.
at the Coliseum.
Wow.
4 nights in a row. Yeah,
I've been to over 240 or 50. I have to look at I've been to a
yeah,
lot of concerts. A lot of those I worked, just to be
yeah,
fair on that, but I was there. I either
yeah.
was working for the band or I was working for the venue
Nice.
or whatever. Or we just got invited. Like my shirt. You remember Striper to Help the Devil?
Yeah, I with the devil.
If you look behind me up there, that's an autographed vinyl from 1996. Same, it's
Nice.
the original vinyl. It's they
I
autographed it
I
for
used
me,
to
and I
I used to
framed
love
it
that song. That song. I always there for you.
for you. In God We
Like,
Trust
yeah,
album. Yep,
that's a great
1988.
fucking song. Yeah,
That was good. That album went gold. Now this one went double platinum eventually to Help
yeah,
the Devil. So
yeah.
it was platinum in the 80s, and it went double platinum. Uh, I don't know when exactly. I think 2014 or something. It finally went double
Okay.
platinum. So that's when they released. I have one just like this, but the other one I kind of like better because it's just black and white. It's got the
Yeah.
whole. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's got the whole thing. The angels are thrown, and it has the verse and everything. They're throwing them into hell. But I got the black and white one of that too.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. A lot of
The
good
only
bands.
the only band that ever really got to me was because I used to hang out with the band. I joined the band for a little bit. I used to play bass, but it was we used to play grindcore.
Yeah.
Grindcore was a big thing in East LA when I was young, and
Hmm.
they didn't want me and my friend because we were gang affiliated. So they used
Yeah.
to always, but they said, well, you guys can be our roadies, So yeah, all right. So one day they invited us to go to we went with the band Infamy and Entity to we went to the studios of KNAC in Long Beach. That was like a really well
Nice.
known heavy metal station. One of the only metal stations that they would straight play Metallica and Dio and all that. In LA,
Yeah.
you would only get like KLOS playing classic rock. So
Hmm.
we drove down to KNEC Studios, and the guy from Infamy got in a fight with the lead singer of Deicide.
No shit.
Yeah, over a
I remember
song.
DSI
Yeah,
over a song.
it was over a song. Yeah, and I remember like we all just barreled out there, man. And I was like 16 years old, and these guys were like bigger than me. I was just throwing my body on top of people. Like, like I'd see like a little ball, and I'd just be like, ah, and I just jump on top. And yeah, we like the crew and everybody was fighting over a song. It was over a
Over a
fucking
song.
song, yeah. Because their side was
Dude,
more well, like they were like into like singing about I think it was a song about them killing babies or some shit like murdering. Their side they're satanic.
yeah.
He had a
Well,
cross
here's the thing.
burned on his forehead, and the singer from Infamy didn't like that. And there had to be something more, but I remember the fight started over that, and the next thing
Because
you know,
yeah,
yeah,
well, I was just going to say there was a time that I think it was 1988 is when for some reason I guess it was kind of my friends were we were just kind of exploring different genres and
yeah,
we got into the Man of War,
Man of
Overkill,
War, oh
Deicide,
shit, yeah,
DRI,
yeah,
Exodus,
oh I love
Testament,
DR,
all that
yeah,
stuff. We called it skater music.
yeah. No,
And
this side was more satanic. They were more like Slayer, but like
yeah,
they really believed it. Like Slayer, they
they
sang
don't.
about it, but like
Yeah,
Samurai said, he's Catholic, but
exactly. Yeah,
Deicide,
there's a lot of things that
Deicide,
people don't know.
Deicide, Deicide was actually they lived it. So that was the beef.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, that
yeah.
was the beef that the guys from Infamy and Entity. It was a fun time. I didn't care. I was just there for the free beer.
Yeah. Well, remember the '80s was always called the Satanic Panic
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
for our parents and whatnot. They
yeah.
thought it was the end of the world and we're all going to die and everybody's satanic because heavy metal's ruling. Because that's when heavy metal. By the way, there's a documentary called "When Heavy Metal Ruled the World," and that's literally what was going on for at least 8 years. 83 to 90 or give or take. I mean, it literally hard rock, glam rock, heavy metal.
It's so funny that I got to. Okay, so like I was in the ninth grade by 1990, ninth grade, right? So
Hmm.
up to that point, I got to experience the fucking the metal.
Hmm.
I was into like Slayer, but then I was also into Poison or whatever.
Yeah, I was too.
That's what you when you'd go to school, you'd have your Poison shirts or whatever. I had like more like Slayer and Metallica, but it was okay if you rocked certain shirts, right? But
Right.
by the time I got to high school, a switch flipped,
Hmm.
and the music changed from that to I remember Nirvana when they first came around, and you were like,
Yep.
"Whoa, what is this?" I remember that, and Alice in Chains came, and we are like, "Oh damn!" But for me, I was already on a different path. I went from that to listening to oldies.
Yeah,
I cut my hair, and I was doing the whole gangbang bullshit. So for me, that's about the year that, like, I think it was like the end of 10th grade.
yeah.
I went fully. It was funny because, like, my friend, I remember my friend walked up to me. My friend, Baby Love knows who I'm talking about. My friend Wolfie. I was sitting on the lunch tables with one of my homeboys, and I seen
Uh-huh.
this guy walking toward me, and he's like bald, and I'm like, that looks like my homeboy Wolf. And then he walks up to me and he's like, "What's up, Dick?" I'm like, "The fuck happened to your hair?" Because, like, the time we had long hair, and then I
Yep,
seen my homeboy Crow, and then he had his hair cut, and I'm like, "What happened?" And he was wearing like Dickies and shit. I'm like, "What the fuck happened to you?" Nah, man, this is the way I'm gonna dress now. And then
yep.
he whispered to me, "Girls like gangsters," and we were already in a gang. And
Yeah.
I remember thinking, hmm. I thought about it, and I'm like, there's maybe. And I remember I went and I bought my first pair of fucking Ben Davis, my first
I
pair of
remember
Cortez.
those.
Ben Davis,
Cortez.
Cortez, and I
That was a gangster shoe.
bought me some bought me some white shirts, and I cut my hair. I didn't cut it bald. I cut it to about maybe a number 4, if you know what that is. It's the number of the
Yeah,
clip. And
yeah,
there was this balm that we used to make our hair. Yeah, Baby Love Wolfie had long. We all had long hair.
yeah.
We all had long hair. Yeah.
Look how long mine is. It's just tucked back in my hat, but I've got it's pretty long now. I cut it about a year and 4 months ago down to like here or something or whatever. And then I don't know. I went so long working the jobs that I was working for so long, I had to have my hair a certain way, law
Yeah.
enforcement, corrections or whatever, just different jobs. So I grew my hair out probably, I think this is my fourth time growing it
Mm-hmm.
out since 1980. No, it'd be more than that. Probably my sixth time since 1980, whatever, fill in the blank, early 80s, I would
Mm-hmm.
say. And so I was like, hey, I'm 47. Thankfully, I've not gone bald yet, and I can still grow
Me
hair,
too,
so I might as
man.
well.
I'm 47. I'm 47 too,
Oh,
and
no
I
shit. All
and
right,
I
cool.
and I have my long hair too. And
Yep,
I was
nice.
just I was looking in the mirror yesterday, and I was like looking at my beard, and it's all white now, and I'm like, God damn it! But at least my hair's still black.
Yeah,
Baby
yeah.
Love's got it right too. Baby Love's got it right. Tres flores. That's what we would use on our hair. That was a
My
Mexican thing.
Yeah, yeah. And then my daughter would dye my hair black, and she stopped doing it about a year ago. But you can see it's still pretty dark. I do
Yeah,
have grays, a lot of grays, don't get me wrong.
yeah,
But I just haven't had it dyed anymore. But I'm thinking about it. I don't care what people think.
yeah.
I
Me
could
neither,
give a
man.
shit less. I don't care.
Me
He was like,
neither.
"What do you paint?" So I had my nails painted black for Halloween for two costumes. It is what it is. But yet, I do it anyways when I go to a heavy metal concert. It's just
I,
something we do.
I remember in the ninth grade we used to walk around with our hair green because, like, we were really big in the punk. And
Yeah,
having your hair green back then, people would look at you. But now you have your hair green, nobody gives a shit. They're like, "Oh, look, he's got his hair green." Like nobody. It's like the norm now. It's not really. You
yeah.
know.
Everything's pretty much accepted
Yeah.
now. And the thing of it is, I talk to my daughters about this too, because they're always doing the hair dye in different colors and
Yeah.
whatnot. I said, you know what? The first time I personally ever saw something like that was Cyndi Lauper in the 80s. She kind
Yeah.
of was the first one.
Hmm.
And it was kind of still kind of taboo.
Yeah.
You remember that to do that in
Yeah.
a sense, for a while. And then of course there was the whole ear piercing thing. If you put, I forget I have both of my ears pierced now
If you put it on your left, you're okay. If you put it on your right, that means you're gay.
until
I remember that.
1992. I
Yeah,
think it was
I remember
92,
that.
and then it all changed. It was game on then.
I
But
never had my
actually,
ears pierced because I'm scared of
uh,
needles.
oh yeah, yeah.
But
Some
I
people
wouldn't
are.
mind. Like, if I were to get my ear pierced, I'd probably want like a big old shark's tooth, or like a shark's jaw. Drop that in my
Yeah,
ear, or something. Something cool.
gotcha. I'm gonna go on audio for a bit because this light is so bright and it
Okay,
it
you
wasn't
got it,
hot
man.
here
Don't worry about it.
today. It was like
Hmm.
65 degrees, but the sun at this time of year, spring's kind of creeping in, and that sun is just hot, and I didn't want to turn on the air.
That's funny you said that because I just ordered my Visine
Uh
and my
huh.
eyes started itching. So I'm like, oh yeah, spring's coming. I better stock up on my Visine. You know.
Yeah, there you go. Well, see, where we live in the Southwest, especially you being in California,
Hmm.
we're high desert here. So we could wake up to snow and like a dust, like a little bit of it melts and pretty much immediately, but it can happen. And they call it melting effect snow, you know.
Yeah.
Chicago, they call it lake effect snow near the lake. I'm like, it's just snow. I don't care what it's affected. It's snow. and but yeah, Albuquerque will get a blizzard here and there. You know, there's a country song about that actually. Waiting out in Albuquerque, waiting out a blizzard or something. You know, it happens, but it's not as common as people think. We're the desert, and you know, we for the most part we have. I would say we have year-round nice weather. Some people think it's too cold at night. It is cold at night. Don't get me wrong. In the wintertime here, like we're going to get down to 30, I think tonight, or 29 or some shit. But tomorrow we'll be back up to probably near 60 again. So it's not that bad.
Mike Brown, that's my friend. He's just being he's just
Okay.
trolling me. They just
All
deleted
right.
his message, but he's okay. He's just trolling me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, like I said, there's some new people in here. I appreciate everybody coming in. You're welcome here. I modded a few that you mentioned that you're friends. I modded them. Now, Mick, is he your actual friend, your internet friend, or
No, Mike is
um,
just yeah, internet friend. Me and Mike and
okay?
Brandy, we're kind of known as the ponies in this area of YouTube.
Yeah,
Have you
the
ever heard the
ponies.
term the ponies? That's the name that they've given the
I've
group.
heard I've heard it, but I'm not
Mhm.
for sure what it means. It's just
It's
that who
just a group.
named.
It's just okay. So where you're at, where B Sox and David Walsh, you guys are known
Mhm,
as the upside down.
the upside down.
The upside down.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
what's that mean? I have to know what that means.
The upside down, like from Stranger Things.
Oh, okay. I never watched Stranger Things. I never
Yeah.
I wanted to, but I never did.
So there's a picture that I have. It has the Stranger Things, and then they have a upside down, like on the other side of the picture. It's a
Uh,
picture of Jeno, B Sox, and David Walsh. It's the upside down. So you guys are the upside down of YouTube, the DC. And then there's let's see, let me see if I can break it down. So okay, so last night I guess I'm part of the Boy. So the Boy is the bottom of YouTube.
yeah.
So officially I became part of the Boy last night because I was part of their WWF WWE wrestling match. So there's a guy from the Boy that makes these matches, and he
Uh-huh.
inserted a man as Andy Cruz, and he had like a luchador mask, and I was in a four-way death match. So
Yeah.
once that it's called Boy Wrestling, so I have officially made it. So
Yeah.
so then there's other areas like the 1A, the auditors,
Yes.
the
Yep.
the, au- the
We
au-
have some in here right now. We have a few in here right now.
yeah,
Hmm.
but they're not the real auditors, the ones that we know. They used to be auditors. They turned into drama.
Yep. Well,
So then there's the drama community, which is like uh, Starlight, Mandolin, and all them people.
yeah.
And then
PDF,
yeah,
Poor Dirt Farmer, and
poor dirt,
Acura Amanda, and
yeah, poor dirt farmer. I
he's
think
in here.
he's more into the 1A drama because he fights with like AC and
Well,
those
he's in
guys.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's in here.
yeah.
He's one of my buddies.
I don't know their drama, so I really
There's
don't know
more
any.
to it. Yeah, I won't. I know you don't know much about it, but there is more than what you probably know to it, and we'll talk about that another time, of course. But
There's
there,
always
it's kind of like,
there's always two sides to every story.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like our community too. The one I'm in, I guess you could say, even though I don't try to consider myself
Hmm.
in a specific community, I like to. I'm involved in a lot of communities, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
Um, uh, but there's so much shit that goes on, and then they'll find out something about whoever, and of course they got to be exposed for it, or
Yeah.
something, depending on what it is,
Yeah.
obviously. And then it's shocking because I just the other day I woke up to somebody who we thought were very cool friends with, certain group of us, whatever, and has been a real close. I won't mention a name, and then I find out this person, another person, were conspiring against that person, and this. I'm like, what the hell?
It's called the turn, man.
Yep, the
They, they,
turn.
they, they turned on you. It happens. I got turned on big time.
Yeah,
And it's a fucked up feeling when it happens to you because you're like, why? What the fuck did
exactly,
I do? You know? But it happens, man. It
exactly.
fucking happens. Just, I guess the only thing that gives me comfort is that I've never done anybody dirty on these YouTube streets, you know?
Yeah, and I saw you had. I actually saw you went live last night, but I was on Locksmith's panel all
Uh huh.
night,
Uh huh.
so I couldn't do anything. But I saw that. Now I've only met Evil Abe once. I'm sure you saw that. I was in Sam Hills at that time. We were getting along pretty well. We are now, I think.
Yeah.
We kind of called a truce or whatever. We're cool. But this guy, Evil Abe, came up, and I didn't know who he was. And I was simply asking AC a few questions, and we were having a cordial conversation. I think
Yeah.
we were. I think AC even agreed. We're having a cordial conversation about a certain subject. And then he come up and just started going at me. And I was like, dude, you don't even know me. And he tried to pretend like he did. He tried to say, well, you're this and that. I'm like, no, actually, I'm not. But okay. And then, a long story short, he rage quit and then he rage quit the chat. But I've always said if I ever want to be roasted by somebody, I want to have a roast. People were telling me he was just trolling you. I was like, oh, it didn't appear
Yeah.
like that to me.
Okay, so he
But
trolls, but he trolls heavy,
yeah,
and he is probably drunk as hell. So
yes, that's what I was told.
when he gets like that, it's like last night he went off on my friend's shift happens, and my friend just me, and I don't know what to do in those situations because he's my friend, but I
Yeah,
understand that um he's just gotta. There's no stopping Abe. There really isn't. So I just kind of let him go. But
yeah. 1 second, Andy. I just want to get this clear. So, I don't know if they're trolling each other, but there's something I don't know about that oh, maybe they are. Yeah. If um, to the people who know me well, like Max and others that are here, if there's sincerely somebody that should not be modded that I modded, that something I do not know, please let me know, and I'll
I
deal
think
with that
I
accordingly.
think
I think they're
Max.
just trolling each other.
That's I don't know, man. I think Exile and Mad know each other from somewhere.
I don't know, but what was I going to say? Oh yeah, Evil Abe. So I said it. I think it was on either Tiffany's or I don't know what stream it was. Maybe B Sox's. We were talking about being roasted, and at the time I was like, yeah, to be roasted would be so cool. And I was picking like the people I know that could roast really well. I was like, well, if Evil Abe, if he's cool with it, I would want him to come roast me,
Yeah.
because he'll do it. And then I was picking out other names and whatnot. I was thinking some other people that have left YouTube, at least for now.
He can he
But
can
some
he can he can just let it out. Did you hear that clip I posted of him and Shift?
uh-huh. Wait,
Did
which one
you
now?
Shift and him going at it last night?
Yeah,
Yeah. There's a clip of it if you want to hear it. It's on my channel.
yeah.
He can definitely roast people.
Yeah. Wait, what's the name again?
Evil Abe?
Oh, Evil Abe. I thought you were talking about somebody else. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was Evil Abe
Um,
and Shift happens. They kind of got into it last night.
oh, I like Shift Happens. I've been on her panel a few
Hmm.
times. She's really cool. I just want to say, hey, Ohio Steve, Exiled One. I don't know what's going on, but um, I did have to take your wrench just for now because I do trust my good friend Max. I don't know if you guys are trolling each other quite, but it looks like maybe not. So don't get mad, please. But I just got to be careful. And I listen to people that I know that we help each other out, and some people know things I don't. I don't know if that's the case. I personally don't know you very well, except for we've been on a panel a few times. I have nothing against you, so just don't take that a bad way. But we'll talk about it maybe on panel, and then or something. We'll figure something out. I don't like to unmod people in the middle of a stream. I've had to do it before, but I have to trust certain people. Um, see here. Let me just look here. Okay, cool. And then, get both sides of the story later. Sometimes I just have to do that. And I had to
Yeah,
unmod a few people for this stream. Actually, it doesn't mean that they're unmodded permanently. It just means
yeah.
for this particular interview, I did unmod a few people that I did
E-
have
E-
modded.
Exile's a good dude, but I think he's just got some beef with Max from somebody else. I think that's what it is, and they're bringing it to your chat. But
He was
what I,
with
what I
the
what I've known of
promo.
Exile, he's a stand-up guy. What I know of him,
He seemed pretty chill on panel. Like I said, I've only been on panel with him a few times. I think it was B Sox's channel. So I don't really know him. He's never really, that I can remember, done anything bad to me. But again, like I said, I woke up the other morning and found out something about a person that was a good buddy of all of ours for a
is this
long
somebody?
time.
Is this somebody I know, or somebody
No,
from?
no, no, no.
Okay.
It's from our the catching community, and we're like, what the hell? Really? Seriously? And yeah, it's true. And I was like, I'm not going to say the name or anything, but it's like, it sucks because you really want, you kind of want to talk to him, like, is this, what happened? Why, why did you
Mhm.
do that? Or what happened or whatever. But yet again, that some of them just take off, they delete their whatever's, their
Yeah,
socials or their YouTube or whatever it is. And well, I guess whatever was going on is true. I mean, I don't know. It's tough. But again, I try to look at the good in everybody. I
yeah,
really sincerely do. And, I'm not trying to push religion on anybody, but me personally, I'm a Christian. So I
yeah,
honestly try to look for the good in everybody. So, but I like to hear and see, I being in ex law enforcement, doing some other things, I like to see evidence and hear both sides of stories, and whatnot. So for now, that's what I'm going to do. But I have a lot of trust, obviously, for the people I do know well. So I'm
yeah,
going to trust their. For now, I will do certain things, and then we'll talk about it later and whatnot. So that out of the way. We already going on over an hour. I don't know how long you wanted to go, but
no, it's up to you, man. If you got things to do, I understand.
nope, no, we're here. It's cool. I
I
just
was
didn't
gonna.
want to
Can
take
I
up too
ask you a
much of your
question
time.
though? I wanted to ask you a
Sure,
question though.
sure.
The guitar is definitely a Van Halen guitar, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
You
now
noticed
here's the
it.
question.
All
Here
right.
comes the question. Van Halen or Van Hagar? Go.
Van Halen.
Nice.
Even though my
I
first concert
uh
was Van Halen, my first big concert, we were 60 plus thousand,
uh
was downtown Dallas. It's on YouTube. It's under the Van Halen art. We showed it actually on
mm,
Tiffany's stream, I believe it was. And
yeah,
there's me right up for the first 10 seconds. You can see me right there in the bottom left, like near the front stage. It was a free concert because see what happened was in '88 they had the Texas Jam,
yeah.
and oh man, there were so many bands I couldn't go, but a lot of my buddies got to go. Where Sammy Hagar blew his voice out, and that was on the OU 812.
Oh wow.
So what he did, he said, we're gonna come back, Van Halen, Van Hagar, we're gonna come back and do a free show. Well, that was, a year went by, 2 years went by. Finally, it was December 1991. It was like 80 degrees, beautiful day in Texas, Dallas, Texas, downtown Dallas. And they only gave a 12-hour notice. They did a press conference. So people had time to drive up from Austin and Houston and Beaumont and San Antonio and whatnot up to Dallas for the free show. Well, I was in high school. And my friend's like, dude, we're going to Van Halen. I'm like, Van Halen, what? And he's like, yeah, the van's out by this. We called it Stoner's Alley. The Stoner's Alley. That's where we all went to go hang out, and smoke weed and whatnot, smoke cigarettes and shit. So, yeah, we got in the van, went down there. We just happened to be one of the first there, first couple hundred or whatever. And so we got a pretty good spot. The only problem was, even with security there and cops, that was still a time where there was no rules really at concerts. You could bring glass whiskey bottles. You could bring knives almost. I mean, as long as they were pocket knives, it couldn't be too big. But people were throwing their glass bottles everywhere, and then people were getting squashed. So it only lasted, I think, an hour. And then they had to shut the show down. So, but it was fun. I will say it was fun. It was a little difficult sometimes with dodging bottles flying over your head and whatnot. But other than that, it was really cool. I really enjoyed it.
I kind of, I kind of, on certain days, I tilt a little more to Sammy's version of Van Halen, but I'm like
Yeah,
right in the middle, man. I like both of them. It's just
yeah,
I just love Sammy Hagar so much, you know.
yeah, yeah. I do too. I just posted a video on my channel. Actually, that was the last concert I just uploaded. Was Sammy Hagar in the Circle, which is Jason Bonham, which is of course John
Mm-hmm.
Bonham from Led Zeppelin's son. Vic Johnson, he's from Colorado Springs, not too far from me up north. And then you got Sammy Hagar and Michael Anthony. I mean, and they played great. I mean, it's like they played Van Halen stuff,
Yeah,
they played Montrose, they played Zeppelin, they played their stuff. It was great. They mixed
yeah.
it all together. So as far as Van Halen, I've never got to see the original lineup. I seen David Lee Roth solo thing
Mm-hmm.
once, and he was a prick. So I
Yeah, he
leave
is
it at
known to
that.
be he is known to be an asshole.
Yeah,
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 he's
he
very well known.
big time. But again, that I agree with you. There are times where I want to get out 5150 or for unlawful carnal knowledge, the Van Hagar eras or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just like Black and Blue or Pound Cake or On Top of the World or just good enough. I just love that shit. But as far as their whole catalog in general, for me, it's really the first album to 1984 is my favorite. I have to admit that. Yeah,
Mm. Yeah,
yeah.
that had some great fucking songs, man.
Oh yeah, big
Drop
time.
dead legs.
Eggs, dude. That's that song, and well, of course you got. I don't think there's a single song. Top Jimmy. That's. I don't know if you knew that. That was
Yeah.
based on a true story from the
Oh, was it?
whiskey for
Yeah,
the Sunset Strip.
all those songs, man. All those songs are fuck. They could have all been, um, singles.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Take care, Bobby.
I'll wait was a good one.
Yeah,
Jesus, all those songs are just fucking great.
yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
Hmm.
There was he somebody he got David Lee Roth was actually honored recently. I don't know if it was Guitar World or I don't know what. They don't really have the physical copies of all those old magazines anymore, like Circus and Hit Parader and all that
Oh
stuff.
no, hell
But they
no.
were saying that David Lee Roth's voice was probably, and I have to agree, he had the best voice on All Wait.
Yeah,
He lit the whole album, really,
yeah,
1984. But you go back to the first album, though,
yeah,
and the first album to me is it's kind of like comparing Megadeth Peace Cells with Rust in Peace.
yeah.
To me, they're tied for first place. If I had to choose one over another, I don't know if I could do it, but I'd probably say I don't know. Probably Rust in Peace because Holy Wars is my all-time favorite song
Yeah.
from Megadeth. Peace Cells is my second.
That is a great one.
Devil's Island from Peace Cells. There's so many great tunes. And then with the Van Halen, the first album is just kick ass. Just I don't know. I don't think the first two actually were really really good. But to 1984 was more polished. They were introducing the synthesizers and keyboards and other stuff. And by the way, it wasn't Sammy Hagar that did that. That was Eddie Van Halen that
That was
wanted.
Eddie Van Halen the whole way. Yeah.
He was just going along for the ride, having fun and enjoying himself.
Hmm.
But yeah, I have to agree. And when they got back together, quote unquote, now there was the Sam and Dave tour. I missed that
Yeah,
one. Just Maddie saw that one, by the way. I believe it was just Maddie that saw that
yeah.
tour. And I missed that one. I didn't see the reunion with Sammy and Michael and them again with the. I got the CD. It's basically just the best of. It's the best of both worlds. I think it was '02 or '03, and then finally David Lee Roth came back in with Wolfgang Van Halen, Eddie's son. I never got to see any of those tours either, unfortunately. But I do have the Wolfgang's first album. I have it on vinyl, but I
Nice.
can't. but I can't find it on CD locally. I can find it online, but I just can't find it locally on CD.
Yeah.
But I found it on vinyl, and he's good. And he played every instrument. He did everything on that album. He has a band that he tours with, but he did all of that: the singing, guitars, bass, drums, everything.
Talented kid, man. Talented
Oh
kid.
yeah, just like his dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, his mom too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But well, I don't know. Let's see. We've been going for about an hour 20.
Yeah, man.
Um,
I think we covered a lot of cool
yeah,
topics. It
absolutely.
was pretty fun, man. We.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There wasn't
Next
so
time.
many.
Hmm?
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
No, no. I was just saying, if you want to do this again soon, man, I'm down.
Hey, that sounds good. I'd like to come on your panel again too. That'd
Yeah.
be awesome. Maybe you can. We can. Me and Evil Abe can properly introduce ourselves.
I
Maybe,
can. I'll set it up. I'll set
maybe
it up.
extend an olive leaf or something. I
I'll
don't
set it
know.
up.
Or
Yeah.
something.
He's a good
Hey,
kid, man.
yeah. I just heard he was just trolling me. I think I took it the wrong way. I didn't know who he was. Plus he was
Yeah.
drunk.
If because like at first shift was like, who is he? But then she figured it out because I'm like, just go with it. Just go with it.
Yeah,
And she
yeah,
figured it out, and she was having a good time with them yesterday, trolling them back. So
yeah,
that's all
yeah.
you gotta do. Just go with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but I honestly, look, it's like Radio Foreman. Me and him used to fight, argue all the time, and now
Yeah.
we're cool because
Yeah. I like for
we were
I like
we
Foreman.
were
Yeah.
yeah, he's a cool dude. It's
Mhm.
just we got off on the wrong foot, or maybe I took him the wrong way, or he took me the wrong way, or vice versa. And so one day I just started. He said something funny in the chat, and of course, I was like that damn Radio Foreman piece of, blah 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 at that time, he said something so funny. I just put LMAO radio, and I put a laughing
Yeah.
face, and I think that's what kind of did it right there. It just kind of loosened it up a little bit. Then we went on panel, and it was cool.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I'd go to his channel. I think he's came in mine at least once or twice, and yeah. In fact, we even talked about having him up for an interview sometime. With
Hmm.
he has a lot of good taste in music, dude. He has a lot of good taste in music.
He does.
He loves the Dead,
Hmm.
Grateful Dead, Jerry Garcia. But well, I appreciate you coming, man. I appreciate everyone that's
Yeah.
here.
No problem, man.
You're a cool dude. Again, his link is in the description. It will stay there. If you guys please go sub to him. Andy's a
Thanks,
really nice
buddy.
guy. Hey, no problem, dude. You're a really good dude. You're a nice
Thanks,
guy.
man.
And I hope we could all get along with some. I didn't see all the chat. I really tried, folks, but
Yeah.
there is a lot of fussing going on. I saw. So
That's normal. It
yeah,
happens. It
it
happens.
happens. It happens.
Yeah.
It seems like no matter where we go on YouTube, there's always somebody somewhere that
Yeah.
wants to stir the pot. Excuse me. I
Okay.
got the Delta 8 and it makes me cough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Pass that shit.
But yeah, right, right. Virtual pass.
Yeah.
But
All right, man. Yeah. Thanks for letting me on, and yeah, we'll do it again sometime.
hey, sounds good. Again, this is Andy Cruz, Podtrash, and Podtrash is one word.
Yeah.
And
Podcast is one word. Yeah.
go check them out. When you dip down, if you want, put your link in the chat again. And of course, it's going to be in the description. So
Thanks,
I
buddy.
appreciate it. Hey, thank you, Andy. I
Okay, man.
appreciate you. You have a good one, buddy.
Yeah. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right, take care. All right, chat. I appreciate you coming. I always try to want to have an opportunity to have a panel afterwards, but because there's so much stuff going on, I've got so many notifications. There's so many lives going on in both of our communities, I guess. Even though Andy, we didn't talk about it too much, but I did talk about him before. Talk about it before. Uh, is I asked him. I said, what community are you part of? He says, well, I'm part of several communities, really. So that's kind of like what I'm doing as well. I try to be part of more than one community, and that's what I do too. But with that being said, you got different trolls or different people coming from different communities with different whatevers, and it causes a clash sometimes. But other than that, Andy Cruz is cool. I have nothing but respect for Andy Cruz. He's funny. He's a humble dude. didn't know we were exactly the same age and like the same music, but that even makes it better. That's cool too. So go check him out. He's you heard him. He's a down to earth guy. He's got a good channel. He's getting close to 2,000, I think, or getting close to that number and everything. So hey, check him out. And I appreciate everyone that came here. I know there's a lot of lives going on. I had to leave a live to come to this live to do my live. So yeah, it happens. So, but I appreciate everyone being here. And Exiled One, I don't know what's going on exactly. I just need to, maybe talk to you and then talk to, I think it's Max or whatever, and, on private or whatever or something. We'll figure it out. All right, I'm going to go and get off here. I don't think we're going to do a panel tonight. So I'm going to bid y'all farewell, and I appreciate you coming. All right, hasta la pasta, and we'll see you guys next time. We'll play some music on our way out, I guess. Some of the non-copyright bullshit here. Later. Hasta la pasta. Thanks.